actually affect some people. It's time to affect some people, to do some things so that you're actually proud of. And that would be really inspiring others to achieve some things that are good for them. Sometimes people act in a way that you are not willing to follow them, down the street. And then sometimes, just by the way someone carries themselves, you're like, you know what? I really like those qualities. I like the way she, just has, I don't know, confidence. Whatever it is, I want it, right? And so today we are going to talk about power, position, power, and influence. And I just want to, just put it out there. Just put it out there. First to say that you can use your powers for good, and you can use your powers for some nasty, naughty, crazy stuff. All right. So you want to make sure that you use your powers for good, and we all have them. We all have them. So my name is Angela M. Odom, and I am the host of the Better You Leadership podcast, the founder of the Better You Project. I have women, and I'm beginning to have more men. It's amazing. I think leadership is lacking, and so people are drawn to, um, things and people who are attempting to help. Right. So mostly I work with women, and I'm just gonna stop for a second. I just came back from Costa Rica. Woohoo! I was there for what was it, like 6 days, and we talk about better you leadership. One of the things we do is we lead ourselves, we lead others, and of course we manage projects and all those types of things. But I will tell you that um, I just want to. I don't know how I can convey this in the strongest sense. Use your days. Use your leave days. Right. I want you to flip this thing on its head when we're talking about, work, 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 and then you're going to play just a little bit, or you're going to relax just a little bit. You're going to do some things that are for you just a little bit. I want you to flip that thing on its head, and I want you to work so that you get the resources, money, whatever it is, time to do the things that you really want to do. Because I would tell you, I was in Costa Rica, and my God, I had a great time, right? just, gonna, I'm just gonna put that out there. So leading myself starts with, of course, showing up for myself first, and then serving others from the overflow, which means like my cup. I'm gonna fill my cup up first, and then I'm going to serve others from what is left over. And so on his head where it says, you got to work 10, 15 hours a day to build somebody else's empire, right? And I want you to work for whatever money you might need, work for whatever skills that that you might need, and then you're going to actually live your life, your whole life, right? So that you are at peace, that you are laughing out loud. For me, I want people to cook for me, and I want somebody to make me some delicious drinks all day long. And that's what happened in Costa Rica. So I'm just going to put that out there. I want you to shift this thing of this working, and you're tired and you're resentful, but going into somebody else's workspace, right? So flip that thing on its head, and find places and opportunities to connect with people you want to be with, right? Connect with people you want to be with, you want to spend your time with, and have a good time. I had a ball. I had a ball. You hear me? And Costa Rica is a beautiful country with beautiful people. Um, and so I would just encourage you to do more of that. Use your leave days, right? And use them to, if you want to just sleep all day, you could do that, but use your leave days to go out and do some wonderful things, right? So let me get back. Let me focus on the message today is about power, power, position, influence. Sometimes we're using all these words interchangeably, but a leader's influence, really, you can determine how well common goals are met in your workplace, your home, your social environments by the type of influence, the type of power you use. You use it as a tool. That's what effective leaders do. So the type of power used, it varies from person to person. It's based on the environment, the personality, and the skill. And so we're going to review what power is and then talk about 5 types of power in leadership. And I'm not going to assume that you don't already know this. So this will be like a review because I want you to get this because really, ultimately, what you're doing is attempting you're attempting to use this power so that you get an outcome. And you either want someone to be committed, right? You want them to comply, or sometimes people just resist. So you want them to either commit or comply, really. And you can, get in your feelings about the words that I'm using, the terms that I'm using, but that's what you want. That's what leaders are doing, right? You're influencing others so that they are committed. They're like in it for 100%, based on their trust in you and, trusting that you know what you're talking about, that you're giving out the guidance, that you have a vision for the organization, for them, and you're going to treat them fairly. You have empathy and you actually see them. You want them to commit and you want them to comply. You don't want a lot of resistance. Right? And so that's what you're seeking. Ultimately, that's what you're seeking. You want people to be committed to your cause, to the cause of the organization, to the cause of this particular task, and you want them to comply. And so let's just talk about that. Really talk about the 5 different types, right? So influence is essential to leadership because leaders cannot exist without it, without influencing others. It's a key component of power and authority. And power and authority, sometimes people use them, they're saying the same thing, but they're using the words interchangeably. And they have nuanced differences. They mean different things. But you understand, you get the point. So power is the influence someone has over another, right? It refers to the ability to accomplish a goal with the help of others. Authority is the right to exercise that influence. So supervisors have authority because of their positions in the workplace. Or, sometimes like in my family, I have authority because of my position as the mama in the house, right? And supervisors, talk about the workplace really. I know I have a great sense of humor. I hope you're laughing on the other side, right? I hope you're just laughing your head off also. Supervisors possess because of their position. However, you can have other people, staff members who also have power if they are liked or respected by their colleagues. And, you might defer to that person for their opinion. Um, and not necessarily because they're in a position. Sometimes people are in a position and they are woefully unprepared for the responsibility of that position, right? And then you could have staff members that don't have any authority, but colleagues are willing to follow them because of their relationship and because of their expertise, because of their personality. Because sometimes I remember when I was in the army and served 27 years, and I remember, like, for me, I always thought the people with the most power was the admin, right? So I would always go to and it was probably 90% ladies, like women, right? I would go to the lady who she was not necessarily in the military. She just had been in that position for years, sometimes decades. So I would go to her and say, hey, this is what I want to do. This is the outcome I want. How do you think I should go about it? What approach have you seen this done before? And I grew up in Mississippi. I know how to talk to folks, right? Had taught me how to talk to people and how to have a big smile and how to say yes, ma'am, and no, all that kind of stuff. Although, I had a higher position in the army structure, you still got to get stuff done. So I want to be respectful to this nice lady who is really going to help me. She's using her power to help me, right? So just understand power itself, and treat people with dignity and respect. You're most likely going to get more done anyway. So 5 types of power. So leaders inspire others to act. Effective leaders encourage self improvement. Also, effective leaders encourage team building. You want to build teams, right? And this is the same time you are promoting a positive work culture. And, now what's a negative, awful, crazy work culture is somewhere you walk into the place and you can just feel the bad vibes, the energy. People are cussing. Some people are talking down to people, demeaning people, not giving them resources because they don't like them, all that kind of foolishness, a lot of immaturity, right? Or you might work in a space. I remember working in a space where um, there was a guy who, I mean, he must have started every sentence with the F word, right? Or MF. I'm like, good of a rest. What in the high water hell is wrong with you? Stop all of that. Right? I mean, give it a rest, guys. It was just negative all the time. And then you're in work environments where somebody is complaining all the time, right? And so anyway, that's my own rant. So the types of power really is how you influence people. So the 5 common types of power in leadership is legitimate power, reward power, coercive power, uh, referent power, and then expert. And I think it's pretty interesting. You want to know what these are. You want to know that, right? So legitimate power is a power someone holds as a result of a hierarchy in the organization. You can influence employees because of the position. We just said that, right? This is similar to military rank. Is like I said, like for me, I started out as a private, brand new entry level private, and was fortunate enough to remain in the army and to be promoted and selected for next promotion and next promotion, next promotion, until I retired as a colonel in '06, right? So that was after 27 years. My God, I should have been a colonel. But anyway, so that's legitimate power. So this is um, structure. So when you have structure, it actually helps you organize. Like large businesses, you have different departments, and this ensures that everyone has similar goals, or they're following the same goals, right? So you gain legitimate power in organization by showing you show what you have, what skill set you have, and you are anointed or granted, or you've earned a certain position, as an executive, as a partner, as a supervisor. I will tell you, with legitimate power, though, say if a parking spot came with that position, that means that when you're no longer in that position, you no longer have that parking spot. And so I tell you that, and this is, I'm just going to step away from what we're talking about in power, is say if whatever perks come with that position, that parking spot, for example, is a perk that would come with that position. That would mean that, um, people would treat you differently because of that position. That's a perk. And so when you're no longer in that position, they see someone at the grocery store, then it is no longer Miss Odom. Hey, Angie, what's up? Because you're no longer in that position, right? Most people refer to me as Colonel, Miss, Mrs., whatever it is. They refer to me with titles. And so I know that when I left some positions, people interacted with me differently, right? So just understand what legitimate power is and the limits to those. So you want to be able to use legitimate power with other forms of power, right? So that you actually get more sustainable results. So you might sometimes use coercive power. It even sounds, when I say coercive power, it sounds mean and nasty and like, oh, like you're an authoritative leader. But coercive power is power someone holds through threat of force. You might be, um, you might be the person who is threatening to use some type of disciplinary action. It could be warranted, so it's not necessarily a bad thing. But if this is all you have, then you're in a weak position from my perspective. So sometimes you use it, right? Sometimes you use coercive power, and it is a good thing, right? And then sometimes you use it, and it's just, man, that's all you have, right? So you can use legitimate power with coercive power. Um, and you can then go to the opposite of that, which would be reward power. So gifts can give someone a strong influence on the behavior of others. Reward power exists when a manager has the power to offer incentives. To sometimes people are doing really well. You might have like hey cousin, you might have opportunities to give people the day off. You might give them money, at the end of the year or whatever holiday period. So you want to use this power in addition with your legitimate power, in addition with your coercive power. You use these together. It's not, it's like different things in your bag of tricks, right? So just make sure you are consistent in the way you use either types of power. You don't only give all the people you like the rewards and the people you don't like the coercive disciplinary actions. You want to be fair. Um, you want to be fair, right? Let's just put that out there. You want to do the right thing and treat people with dignity and respect every single day, even if you don't like them. You want to do the you want to do the right thing in these three areas. So legitimate, coercive, and reward. And then you have those are organizational. If you want to group them into category, those are organizational types of power. Then you have personal power, which one would be expert power, and the other one would um, would be referent power. Let's do referent power first. Refer int, right? As you're spelling it, REFERENT, refer. This is the power that role models have. It occurs when a leader has strong interpersonal skills. Well, you might have a lot of charisma, and other people simply see some things and use some of your traits, some of your skills that they're like, I admire that. I like that part, right? So, for example, if you were attempting to resolve an issue or a conflict, and then you will refer back to what a mentor might have done, or you think, oh, wait a minute, what would Angela do? Right? What would Angela do to resolve this issue? What would that look like? What approach might she take? How would she treat this individual? And then, what types of tools would she use? And uh, that's what you might do in referent power. So this is a power that you don't bestow on yourself. Other people, the people who admire what you're doing, the way you carry yourself, the way you resolve issues, the way you interact and engage with others, the way you speak, right? The way you convey your thoughts and produce things. So someone else actually bestows the title or this power on you, referent power. So they might sell you. I hear people tell me like, "Hey, you're my mentor, right?" I'm like, how did that happen? Right? So that's not you. It's anointing yourself with this power. It is bestowed upon you. And so that's a good thing, right? As long as you are using your powers for good, as I started out in the beginning. So you want to develop your interpersonal skills. You're going to take an interest in other people, have empathy, see people, right? Listen to them, shut your big old mouth and listen and allow others to speak. I'm not talking about people walking all over you or talking all over you. I'm saying I know that I personally learn more, right? I learn more when I listen more because all I know is not all there is to know, right? So anyway, the bottom line for referent power, just listen to people, and you don't need to, be throwing around advice all the time. Nobody wants somebody to walk up to them all the time and, sharing their advice because they know everything. That's annoying. So if somebody asks you for your opinion, then of course you go ahead and share that, unless it's a safety incident. The other personal power, the last, number 5, is expert power. This exists in an organization when one member possesses a set of skills that others might not have, or they might not be as proficient in these skills, right? And I tell you what, when I was working in the office setting, it was somebody who knew how to operate the copy machine. That's an expertise. Hey, can you help me? I want to collate these. I've got like 10 packets I got to get together. Who knows how to do that? Come help right now. Help me, please. Thank you. So you want to have that was an example, but expert power, that's something pretty simple for some people, but it was very difficult for me, right? So this leads others to defer to you as the expert. So some employees, they assume that the manager or executives possess some skill or knowledge that others don't. Well, it is the opposite. It is also, it works in both ways. Let me say it that way. Anyone in the organization can hold expertise power, right? Anybody can. Just like I said, shut your big old mouth and you listen. You'll learn what other people are really good at, whatever skills they have, how they can actually um, help the organization grow. You'll be surprised at how deep other people are, other things, other skills that they possess. You'll be surprised with that if you shut your big old mouth and listen, right? So, to use expert power in your career, you want to pursue expertise in your field. You want to be, um, qualified in whatever tests you have to take, whatever milestones there are. You want to be the person, the go-to person. You want to know your job, right? You want to know what if there's some automation, some platform that you're supposed to know inside and out, then learn it. Right? So when you demonstrate your high level of competence, people may begin to defer to you, or they might follow your advice or ask you for your opinion or some things. But if you don't ever know anything about anything, what's the use of being there, right? Who's going to ask you anything? So anyway, so five different types of power. 5 different types of power. We talked about legitimate, reward, coercive, referent, and expert, right? And so I'm just kind of curious, like, of all of those, is there any particular one that you are prone to be proficient in? Are people calling you or referring to you as a role model or a mentor? Are people coming to you with questions? Are people asking your opinions? Right? Personal powers, and you want to build those types, right? And then legitimate, rewarding, coercive. Just know that because you'll need to be able to use all of these together to be an effective leader. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut to the chase and let you know 4 ways to influence others as we close this thing out. 4 ways to influence others. So when we're talking about position, power, and influence, so one is just demonstrate care. That's pretty simple, right? Demonstrate care. You know how you demonstrate care? You ask people questions. You ask people questions. Sometimes you're talking to people and you already know, oh my God, I only have like 2 minutes before my next thing. And I know this conversation is going to take more than 2 minutes, longer than 2 minutes. So you just might not want to ask questions in, but you demonstrate care. Demonstrate care by saying, "Hey, how is your young child, right? How were you able to make that next meeting? right? You just ask questions, demonstrate care. You know how to do that. And you listen. And so if you listen to me for any amount of time, then you've heard me say, um, listen more than you talk, right? That's why we have two ears and one mouth, right? Listen more than you talk. And you're definitely going to learn something. You're going to give someone something. I'm talking about four ways to influence others. Give someone something, right? I'm not talking about you ain't paid your mortgage, so giving somebody your money. I'm not talking about that. You give them your time, right? You give them, somebody's running through the hallway saying, "Hey, does anybody have an ink pen I can use?" Yeah, give them that pencil, give them that pen real quick. Give somebody something. Figure that out, right? And then the other thing, the way to influence people is to teach someone something. So demonstrate care, listen, give someone something, and teach someone something. I hope you're taking some notes because this is really good, right? Take some notes. So that's where we are. So again, my name is Angela Odom, and this is the Better You Leadership Podcast. This is a live recording of the Better You Leadership Podcast. And I have shared with you 5 types of power that leaders use. Gave you some examples. Um, and also just gave you like cut through the chase of 4 ways to influence others, right? So you want to do those things so you can make progress in your leadership journey. And so let me just back up just as I started. I just came back from Costa Rica, and I will tell you, use your leave days, right? Use your leave days. And if you're not feeling well, use your sick days. And if you're in a job where you don't get those, you need another job, or you need to be your own boss. You're going to position yourself so that you're able to enjoy your leave days, right? You hearing me on this? So if you're independently wealthy, then that's one thing. Most of us need some form of income so we can have um, safe housing, a safe place to live, a reliable transportation, and we got to have some food. And then we get, might just be you, or you might be responsible for others, a little kid, a older adult, a significant other. You might be responsible for other people, but I'm telling you, take your leave days. And then you can, fill, this is me holding the cup, right? You can fill your cup up with the things you need so that anything that overflows, then you're able to show up with a better mental ability, right? And if you don't have your health straight, then all of this is for naught. So take your leave days and make sure you take care of your health, your physical, mental, and emotional self. Do that first. Okay, with that said, you all have an amazing day, and I will definitely tell you that I think I'm going to have more of these um, travel days. I'm going to do more of that. It was amazing. It was a freaking amazing. With that said, you all have an amazing day. May the good Lord continue to bless you and yours. Take care.